Blame me if I don't love you, okay? Hi, friends. Welcome back. I'm Emma. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to click that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up on this episode. For her fair portion of the Coyote Pass property, Janelle Brown struggled hard. When she broke up with Cody Brown, she was actually concerned about how she was going to afford things. The Sister Wives star understood that all her finances had been invested in the purchase of the land. Consequently, Janelle began coercing her ex into purchasing her out of the property. She wished to leave behind the commotion and begin anew, proposing money in return for her share to resolve the conflict. TLC star Janelle even had a lawyer intervene to negotiate on her behalf. Janelle, Mary, and Cody have already resolved things today. Fans wonder, did the payment actually benefit Janelle financially? They are interested to know, what did she do with the money she got? Where did she invest it? How did she handle it? And the million-dollar question, how much exactly did Janelle get from the Coyote Pass sale? During Sister Wives Season 19, Janelle and Mary collaborated to compel Cody to do something about the land. Janelle particularly wanted Mary to receive her share as well, since she had invested a lot of money in the communal property. The Sister Wives star did not want Cody to reap where she had sown. Initially, Cody refused to buy out their stake or sell the land in entirety. But soon, he took the right decision. After nearly 3 years of keeping the matter pending, the TLC star eventually sold the land and handed his former wives their rightful portions. Consequently, Janelle earned $35,000 from the sale of the land, which she employed to begin life anew in North Carolina. The reality TV personality felt vindicated. She finally got her due and could leave all the drama behind. Sister Wives. How did Janelle turn her life around with the Coyote Pass payout? Of the Brown family, Janelle has always been the most self-sufficient and industrious. In spite of that, she invested her hard-earned cash in taking care of her big polygamous family. Subsequently, the TLC personality poured all of it into assisting Cody and his wives in establishing a community on the Coyote Pass land. However, to achieve her own dream of constructing a home, Janelle had to sacrifice a lot. To cut costs, she started living in an RV and even leased an apartment. Following her breakup, Janelle aimed for a better life in North Carolina. She relocated to the new city with her married daughter, Madison Brown, along with all of her possessions. The Sister Wives personality worked a ton of energy developing her Plexus company, and it was a huge payoff. Fans were also shocked by Janelle's whopping investment. She purchased a massive tract of land to cultivate flowers. Along with Maddie and Caleb, she started Tata Farms. Janelle had always loved flower fields, so she was completely excited for this new start. On one portion of the land, she even constructed her own residence. Recently, the reality TV personality revealed that the land is officially approved for construction. Janelle was thrilled that construction would soon be underway and that her dream home was finally becoming a reality. Her new home will feature both a front porch and a back porch, and she'll be living just a block away from Maddie and Caleb. While that was happening, sister wife Mary Brown is nearly radiating after scoring an amazing gain from the Coyote Pass land sale. Mary, star of Sister Wives, has gone through a lot over the last 30 years in her personal life. She was always at odds with her ex-husband Cody and his fourth wife Robin. Despite having had some difficult times with the other sister wives, Mary is gradually moving towards a better, happier life. One of the people who have been a huge source of encouragement for Mary is her best friend Jen Sullivan. Mary recently posted a photo to Instagram, and it was easy to see she was beaming with happiness. Longtime Sister Wives fans know that Mary rarely experimented with her style. She usually avoided feminine clothing and stuck with neutral colors. But now, things are starting to change. Mary is finally stepping outside her comfort zone and taking fashion risks. In her latest Instagram post, she looks absolutely stunning in a glowing pink outfit. Sister Wives. Fans are stunned by Mary's incredible transformation. Since Mary had a haircut some time ago, Sister Wives viewers began noticing that she was undergoing a complete makeover. She showed off her thin frame and was simply breathtaking. Making up her face to highlight her features and adorning herself with minimal bling, Mary maintained an elegant appearance. Fans were left stunned by Mary's stunning looks and could barely believe their eyes. Sister Wives. Mary's bright pink fashion is making fans swoon. Mary Brown, star of Sister Wives, recently posted a new picture on her Instagram account. She appears visibly happier and more at peace with her life, and she looks radiant in pink. Mary shared a close-up shot of herself wearing a shirt featuring a pink leopard print. "In rare form, here's me in pink." She captioned the photo, "That's all. You're welcome." It has taken a while since fans have ever seen Mary this happy in a picture. She has also been keeping to her exercises and has lost plenty of weight. Her stunning makeover left fans shocked, and her post-comment section was filled with compliments. Life appears to be falling into place for Mary in all the right places now. First, she has finally gotten around her good friends and family that support her no matter what. Second, she earned a whopping $375,000 from selling her share of the Coyote Pass property. Mary is finally getting the respect she deserves after all those years of turmoil in her relationship with Cody. Mary had her hair down and blow-dried, finishing it off with a layered gold necklace. She smiled radiantly and wore a new pair of red glasses. A fan said, "Mary, you are stunning in freedom," while another wrote, "You're so beautiful. Leaving Cody was one of the smartest things you ever did." Some also commended her fondness for the color pink. It is a welcome and refreshing sight to see Mary smiling and radiant. And it's not only Mary, the other sister wives are doing just as well. Christine is growing her business empire while leading a contented personal life. And Janelle is incrementally growing her farm business. The strong-willed woman's life was greatly altered after she and her family resided on the vast Coyote Pass property. She dealt with the grim financial repercussions of choices made under a family arrangement that frequently minimized her input. Now, having exited a decades-long plural marriage, Janelle, once reserved and quiet, is entering into her own power. And supportive, this woman became a tough self-advocate, fighting for what was hers. Her path from economic uncertainty to independent living became more than a courtroom fight, but a tale of personal transformation. She divorced the man she had previously called her husband in what was an ambivalent spiritual arrangement and had a wake-up call. All her energy and money had been invested in a plot of land now embroiled in title problems. With no liquid capital and no home to call her own, she wondered how she would ever get over the years of financial sacrifice spent on a dream that never came to be. But she would not be left behind. Unwavering, she consulted an attorney and filed formal action. No longer content to remain quiet, she moved to make sure her portion of the jointly held property wouldn't fall into the wrong hands. It was a tough negotiation, particularly with feelings running high since the once close-knit group had now fallen apart beyond redemption. The attention turned to settling the remaining shared property and the complicated financial issues. The initial dream, creating a community sanctuary for all members of the large family, had by then disintegrated. In order to have her voice heard and her investment safeguarded, she partnered with another wife who had also broken away from the man. He fought hard initially, not wanting to split the land or fairly compensate them. Years went by with little or no movement. But their determination eventually paid dividends. Finally, the man surrendered. He agreed to divide the property and justly reward the women for their initial investments. For this woman, the agreement was not merely a legal victory. It was the basis for restarting the life that had been taken from her for so long. It was the key to freedom. Once she secured her monetary portion of the property, she boldly chose to set aside the dirt and commotion of her past life. She moved her things and resettled far away, into a quieter, greener section of the country. In the southeast, she at last discovered the serenity she had so longingly sought. Surrounded by the rolling hills of the countryside and the support of her family that she hadn't known for years, she started anew. She moved in with the family of one of her older children, where their communal home became a refuge and also a launching pad for her own life. Unencumbered by the stress of a broken, fragmented family, she poured all of her energies into creating a life based on her own agendas. She invested her time and money into a health and wellness business. the same one that had helped carry her through her worst times. With encouragement from her children, she built up her business, turning it into both a force of empowerment and financial self-sufficiency. But when she declared her next grand move, she shocked everyone. She had bought a big block of arable land, and she envisioned launching a flower farm. With her daughter and son-in-law in tow, she christened the endeavor with a highly personal title, turning it into a symbol of healing, rebirth, and new purpose. In addition to growing flowers, the fields would grow hope, meaning, and growth. She saw a house of her own on this property, a house constructed solely for herself, by herself. House plans soon began to form in her mind, with visions of weekend parties, family meals, and grandkids playing between houses clearly in place. Selecting a plot right across the road from her daughter's house, she envisioned wide porches where she might relax after long days, toiling in the fields, sipping coffee in the morning sunshine. As soon as the location was selected and markers staked out, she set to work closely with architects and contractors. No aspect, from the roof slope to window size, was thought through lightly. She desired a home that did not only show her journey, but also her liberation. A place constructed out of reclaimed energy and hope. At the brink of something different, she wondered how far she had traveled. She parted from a life of shattered promises with nothing but her resolve to live. From a crowded trailer on arid, barren land, she was now on the verge of constructing on property full of possibility and promise. Each decision, each investment, and each tear that had fallen in the cause of justice had brought her here. Once a mere statistic among a polygamous family, this woman had become a businesswoman, landowner, and master of her own destiny. Her achievement was hard-earned, a victory bred of determination, toughness, and the inner fortitude she discovered within herself. Once freeing what she no longer needed, the land which had once represented restriction was now representative of expansion. The payoff, long a dream, had finally made way for a whole new chapter. Working alongside her loved ones, planting fields of flowers became not only a venture, but a healing journey. As they cruised down the street on bright sunny days, neighbors noticed bursts of color and scent. She opened the land up to guests, inviting in more than blossoming flowers. She invited visitors into the world of resilience, of comeback, and of hope. The farm flourished as a meeting space for the neighborhood, filled with workshops and functions that encouraged others to connect to their own personal resilience. Her life was once again colorful, no longer overshadowed by boisterous voices or drowned out by the tumult of a messy marriage. She was now in reach of all that she had once believed out of her grasp: stability, serenity, and genuine autonomy. Having the house just across from her family, she had invested the profits from the land sale into something greater than money. It was real reparation, a recognition that her sacrifices counted, that her labors were worth something, and that beginnings again were never far away. Standing amidst rows of lavender, wild roses, and sunflowers, she took a deep breath and smiled. Each flower petal, each wooden beam in her new house, and each winding path across the farm attested to a deep truth. With love and care, the seeds of self-worth are bound to bloom. Her tale, born of resilience, is now a testament to the fact that new beginnings are attainable even in the most knotted circumstances. A battlefield once, the ground now bloomed with flowers that made people smile. A legacy built not on somebody else's name, but on the name she created for herself. Behind closed doors, for years, she had silently weathered storms. Her grief had often gone unperceived, her resilience unknown. But now, the radiant, renewed, and resilient woman, once lost behind her emotional veil of solitude, emerged into the fullness of the light. Where once she'd been bound to a lifestyle that systematically sucked the life from her very soul, now she was unbowed, walking free on unshakable legs with a heart full of hope. Mary's remarkable turnaround after walking away from her past and courageously stepping into her future is no longer a tale relegated to faded hues or dimmed vitality. For decades, Mary had contributed so much of herself to a society that had previously required her to deny her uniqueness in the interest of a shared vision. In her search for belonging, she had surrendered emotional tranquility, personal desires, and convenience. Her relationships were complicated, some warm, others strained by unspoken tension. The bonds based on loyalty and spiritual commitment were the most difficult of all. She carried the crushing weight of promises broken and allegiances shifted. But through it all, she was determined to find purpose and preserve her dignity in a system that rarely permitted her to blossom fully. With time, the fissures in that basis grew. The illusion of accord began to decay. Her own happiness just could not develop within a system constructed on disproportion. As became more apparent with every second of feeling apart, and with every hopeless struggle to repair that which was unreparable. At last, she was confronted with a choice: remain in others' shadow, or start living a life where she herself became the core of her own peace. She opted for the latter. The long-awaited settlement of the land dispute, which had bound her financially and symbolically to the past, set the stage for this new chapter. What had once been a promise of unity and an enduring legacy had become a bittersweet reminder of shattered dreams and unrequited sacrifices. Mary had put much more than money into that land. She had invested her hopes for security, purpose, and roots. And as those aspirations died, she knew it was time to plant seeds somewhere else. When the property was finally sold, she was paid out on her financial interest. Although the specifics were not publicly released, insiders estimated the sum to be high enough to represent a significant emotional and financial milestone. The payment meant more than dollars. It represented justice, closure, and renewal. It wasn't so much what she got, it was what she let go of. She started to rebuild no longer bound by duty or obligation to an uncertain legacy. She pressed on, but this time, solely on her own terms. She decided to pursue activities that lifted her up instead of dulling her light. And she surrounded herself with individuals who lifted her spirit. One of her greatest sources of strength was her lifelong friend and confidant, a woman who cheered her on with boundless enthusiasm and unwavering support. Their friendship, built on deep respect and a shared sense of humor, became a constant pillar in her rapidly evolving world. Her transformation wasn't just emotional, it was visible too. For years, her closet reflected the subdued life she had been leading, full of browns, grays, and pale beiges. But as she rediscovered the colorful woman she had long repressed, she started reaching for color. First, subtle suggestions of lavender and coral, then bolder options. And then came the pink. When she recently shared a picture of herself, dressed in a bright rose-hued blouse with subtle patterns, the internet flashed with delight. Her smile was bigger, her stance more erect, her happiness quite literally emanating through the screen. Wearing pink was more than about style. It was a statement. Pink, which is traditionally linked to empathy, love, and rebirth, beautifully reflected her path. Her brief but powerful caption contained not only her wit, but her new confidence. The comment area was full of praise. The fans admired her bravery, her glow, and her development. Many said that the vibrant colors had brought back the light that had been out for years in her. Others were grateful to her for finally choosing herself after years of putting others' needs before her own happiness. The general agreement was, she was lovely in freedom. Lifestyle modifications also propelled her external change. She focused on health rather than beauty, but for strength and vigor. She adopted a regimen of exercise that energized her and did not leave her spent. While she was working to develop her soul, she was also caring for her body. Every day, she became lighter physically, as well as lighter in heart. Her entrepreneurial soul blossomed at the same time that she personally experienced revival. She opened a new business, one based on empowerment, self-esteem, and personal development. Her goal wasn't to be successful, it was to inspire others. Others to embrace honesty, rise above their circumstances, and rewrite the narratives that had once been handed to them. Through her platform, she makes it clear. While your past may shape you, it does not define you. Being worthy isn't something to be earned. It's something to be remembered. Her home, once merely a shelter, has now become a true sanctuary, built with intention and love. Each corner of her world exudes joy and serenity, the triumphant outcome of a long, isolating struggle. Above all, the image that meets her in the mirror no longer exhibits resignation or doubt. Rather, it emanates confidence, purpose, and self-assurance. Mary's resurgence is not an individual tale. Others who previously walked alongside her have also made new paths, some embracing positive relationships based on respect, others cutting out their own entrepreneurial paths. While their paths are unique, they contain one thing in common. Freedom has enabled them to thrive. Mary's change is a living example of the strength of self-love. It proves that healing is not one big moment, but a series of courageous decisions. The choice to speak out, the choice to release, the choice to trust the future is vastly different from the past. Above all, she housed to flourish where she once deteriorated. Now, each ensemble she wears, each authentic smile she offers, is a testament, not only to surviving, but to rising above. Her radiance isn't merely from her colorful wardrobe or glowing cosmetics. It is a result of living in absolute accord with her truth. Mary's tale is not one of vengeance or regret, it is one of rebirth. It's the path of a woman who walked away from what had harmed her, opened her arms to what had mended her, and became stronger than ever. She is a reminder that however messy our origins, we each have the power to craft our own destinies. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more inspiring updates daily. See you soon.